You know, it's funny. I know so many people, whether they're accountants, lawyers, doctors, people that get educated and people that go to high school, college, and then, graduate school, law school, become a doctor, medical school. And in those certain instances, the top 1% or 1% do extremely well. However, for all the other folks that got a college degree out there, I really feel bad because at the end of the day, you go to college to learn how to study, not how to become a high earner. And today we're going to talk about how to think like a banker and what schools don't teach you. So when we talk about thinking like a banker, let's really understand how the banking system works. And at the end of the day, if you look at their tier one capital, the money that they really kind of hold in reserve and they loan that money out, that tier one capital is called bank-owned life insurance. And what that does is it gives the bank a guaranteed rate of return by state law and by contract on all these different life insurance policies that it may own on corporate executives, so on and so forth. But while it's earning a rate of return inside the bank, what it then does, the bank will loan the money out to Mary for her car payment, to Marcus for his mortgage, to Joe for his student loan. Whatever the case may be, it's called the velocity of money multiplier. They loan money out over and over again. They actually don't take any financial risk, they take credit risk. And as a result of the velocity money multiplier, also known as fractional reserve lending, what begins to happen on average, and you could always double check everything I say, the bank begins to make 40 cents on every dollar that you give it. So let me just break it down simply. You have $100,000, you put into a CD, all things being equal, let's say the CD gives you 1%, that bank is making 40 cents on every single dollar that you give to it. So if they do that successfully for the last couple of 100 years, how do we mimic that? How do we think like a bank? Well, the first thing we could do is understand products that we want to model after what the bank is doing. So purchase high dividend paying cash value life insurance where you begin to overfund the policy so your cash value grows. Now remember, it's not going to change your life. However, it'll protect you, God forbid, if you did shuffle off this mortal coil. There is a death benefit that factors into your future growth. So not only do you have that kind of protection, you also have lawsuit protection. Once again, you got to read the fine print. You also have protection from disability. If you become disabled, the insurance company will carry the cost for you. But remember, while that money is growing, and if you want to be able to finance your own debt, do your own debt when it comes to purchasing a car. Instead of going through Toyota or Honda, you go through your own bank. And now you'll pick up the interest that that bank would earn, but now you're earning it yourself because let's say your cash value has $100,000 in it, and you want to leverage $20,000, $30,000 to go purchase that car, that 100 is still going to earn that guaranteed rate of return. Now you pay the bank back, your life insurance bank, either 3, 4, 5 years, however you would pay off your car, and you're going to recover that in your world. So that's what I'm talking about when I say think like a bank, right? Act like a bank. In anything that we learn in life, if we want to be able to excel, or if we want to be able to get to places that we haven't gone to before, we have to do things that we haven't done. For example, if I want to become, the greatest YouTuber in history, and there's a lot of different definitions there, but it would be important that I model someone on YouTube that's doing very well. And by the way, that doesn't guarantee overnight success. It means that I have to do what they did or what they're doing on the same length of time that they did or what they're doing in order to achieve the same kind of results. It's no different than if you want to become great in the business that you're in. Well, whatever business that you're in, you want to model somebody that's been there, done that with a proven track record. Not somebody that works for them, but the direct person. So you have direct proximity. And in that space of proximity, doing and matching and mirroring what they did, plus 10%, there's a really, really good chance of success. So now let's talk about the school system, right? The school system, it's been around for a long time. I think many would say that the stuff that is being learned today hasn't changed over the last 50, 60, 70 years. And if we understand that the school system is meant for you to go to the next level of education, whether it's from grammar school to high school to college, like everything else, you want to follow the money and look no further than a student loan crisis. And it's a crisis, it's $1 trillion crisis. And at the end of the day, I don't know the statistics, but people that graduate college based on their degree of what they studied for versus what they actually do for a living, it's a scary percentage to see how off that really is. And because at the end of the day, when you go to college, they don't teach you how to become a salesperson. They don't teach you how to bring influence to the table when it comes to whatever business that you're in. They just teach you what's in the workbook, how to pass the test, and your professor, and God bless the professor, but the truth is the professor is earning a certain salary, and they may not understand how to run a business. They may not understand how to become an entrepreneur. They may not understand scalability. They may not understand marketing and innovation. And if that's who's teaching you along the way, you're really not taking that next action step forward, although you're shelling out all this money and time. So that's why when it comes to the school system, I believe that if they're not training people how to become entrepreneurs, there's a reason why they're not training people how to think independently. And it's something to consider and something to understand. I'm not knocking the person that studied their butts off for the last 10, 15, 20 years. And by the way, they've made it through, because there is some high-end earners that have followed the course from A through Z and have done extremely well. But in my opinion, the school system is not meant for the masses other than creating economic workers. All right, so we've gone through a really nice conversation here, but let's get real specific. Entrepreneurs that I know, what they do, like myself, is they purchase as much cash value life insurance as they can. They let the money grow, and then they access that money so they could use it for their business to grow even further. They access that money so they could buy rental real estate and be able to have the renter pay back the policy. They access that money to hire people in their business, and then based on the production of the people they hire, they have that revenues pay back the policies. So if you understand how to really use it as a bank and mimic what the bank does, what will begin to happen in your world is not necessarily the splash, but it's the ripple of using life insurance as the financial backbone first. Then you could pick off all the other things that you want to pick off. And in that space, what begins to happen is your money, your wealth, your time, and your time freedom begin to accelerate. What we've created for you is the Epic Financial Freedom Map, which is a do-it-yourself understanding and strategy on how to create and become your own bank. So go ahead and click the link below. You have full access to our training, which will take you from hello to yes, A through Z, and the process on how to become your own bank.